Hotep, Alafia, Kamusta. Welcome to the Mind of Ro page. I am Nefertiti, or Nefertiti Layo Obajaguna. So I try to just do a live video on YouTube because I'm always doing my live videos on Facebook, and I want to kind of try to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to try to experiment with TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. For some reason, my YouTube channel was kind of, not working. So I'm going to go kind of mess with that. And so hopefully the next video I do is going to be on my live on my YouTube. But this is my first time doing a live video on Instagram. So thank you for welcoming me. So today I'm going to make a video on how to handle change. Because, well, there's always going to be change all the time. Then the whole universe is constantly expanding, constantly changing, sucking in, going out constantly. So, and we are going through a pandemic right now. So there's a lot of change going on, and there's a lot of alignments in the planets right now that's causing a lot of change to go on within our personal life. And one of the hardest things to handle in life is change. There's that common saying, I don't like change. So, but when we do that, we tend to stay stagnant. So I'm actually personally going through a lot of change myself, that I've had a lot of realizations of handling change and being able to be calm during change and not panic and freak out. So I'm going to make a video on it because a lot of times when I make videos, it's because it's my personal experience and my personal lessons. I like to share that with people. It's my personal therapy session, So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Mind of Ro. I also have a TikTok and an Instagram and a Twitter at Mind of Ro. And I also have a Facebook business page at The Mind of Ro where I do readings. So if you would like me to do a reading for you, go ahead and shoot me a comment or a private message and set an appointment up with me and I'll do a reading for you. So how to deal with change. Number one, first you have to accept that change is trying to happen. So, well, how do you know that change is really trying to happen? Chaos. Yes, that one force of nature that we hate is chaos. All order must come after chaos. Chaos brings order. That's how you know you need to change your life around. That's how you know the world needs to change right now, because there's constant chaos going on. If you haven't lost a lot of chaos going on in your life, you just feel like things just aren't going right. You feel like every time you try to do something crappy happens. You're like, okay, what is going on? Why is it that every time I keep trying to do this, something is blocking me, something is happening, I keep arguing with people, and I feel like this is crazy in my life, and I'm like, oh my God, and it makes your brain feel like it's going to explode. This basically means the universe is telling you that you need to go another direction. So pay attention. It doesn't necessarily mean you're being punished. Sometimes maybe you're going through some karmic law. Yes, it could feel like punishment, but please understand that the universe is always working in a way in regards to universal order. Therefore, if you feel like there's chaos happening in your life, chaos happening in the world, it's because things need to move around and needs to change for the better, because the universe is beautifully created in a way so everything is balanced. So if you want balance in your life, balance in your soul, balance on the planet, there needs to be chaos sometimes. And I know it sucks. You don't want to deal with it. A lot of people, if you're about peace and harmony, you're like, there should never be war. According to a lot of even religious concept, and according to what I practice a lot of African traditional religion, there needs to be a balance. This is according to laws of Ma'at, because I do practice Kemetism. There is a balance between peace and justice. And for there to be justice, there must be some kind of war. So chaos is a concept of war, energetic war that's happening to change things around. So if you're feeling like you're dealing with a lot of chaos, which we are in the world, and you feel like you're dealing with chaos in your life, then you need to admit to yourself that change is trying to happen. So I know that's some pride we have to put down. We have to stop playing the whole woe is me and my life sucks and everything happens to me all the time and I hate it. We have to stop doing that, because it's not helping you. You have to really pay attention. When chaos is happening, it's because something needs to change. We need to move and be blown in another direction. When it's chaotic, it feels like there's literally a storm and a hurricane blowing through your life and moving things around. So number two, it means once you realize there's chaos happening and you realize the universe is kind of nudging you and saying, hey, you need to go this other direction. Now that you notice that now, then the next step is to practice intuition. When you realize there's chaos happening, you got to really open that third eye and really be one with your intuition and your gut feeling, because you need to be really mindful of what the universe and the energy that's happening around you is trying to tell you what to do. And a lot of times when we're running in fear and panic mode and freaking out, it closes our third eye because we're trying to resist what's happening, and we're trying to put ourselves in a bubble. We want to hide under the blanket. We want to run away from it instead of go with it, because we're scared. Like, oh my God, if I go this way, something might happen to me. Therefore, I'm going to try to just shut down or resist it, and then chaos keeps happening. So I've realized going through that kind of energy is being really intuitive. I made a few videos on opening the third eye. Please go check it out. If you feel like your third eye is closed, here are some signs your third eye is closed. If you tend to have a bad habit of ignoring your gut feeling, if you have a bad habit, I'm sure you remember a lot of times you were like, damn, I knew that person wasn't good for me. I knew I shouldn't have worked that job. I knew I shouldn't have went to that party, but I went anyways. I had a feeling, but you ignored it. That basically means your third eye is closed. When your third eye is open, it means that you're really one with your intuition and you trust your intuition. Now, when you get that gut feeling, you follow it and you're like, I hear you, higher self. I hear you, spirit speaking to me. When you get that message, you need to listen to it and follow it. If it doesn't feel right, then it's not right. If it feels like it's right and it feels good to you, and you feel, even if people around you are talking in your ear and saying, hey, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, but your gut and your heart is telling you, like when your heart and your gut is in alignment and you feel like, I don't know, this feels right to me, even though everyone is in my ear and telling me it's not right. That's when we start to ignore ourselves. When we start to ignore the voice of God, the voice of the Orishas and the Olodumare and our moon and the Neter and our higher self, our third eye, our inner self, whatever it is that you believe in. That's when we start to ignore that voice and we get stuck in the mundane, and we get stuck in being caught up in we are human, but we get too caught up with being wrapped up with what other humans have to say to you, when you know your God self is telling you something else. So if you feel like there's change happening, and some people a majority of people are very fearful. Majority of people hate change. Majority of people are comfortable with who you are now and who they've been knowing you as for however long they've known you. Especially family members who grew up with you as a child and remember all the mistakes you made and all the stupid things we do. Family members do it a lot. Even our best friends will do it. And even our spouses will do it. Even our own children will do it. I remember you made that mistake, so why would you go that way when you know you're just going to end up running into that wall and going through this and going through this and going through that? Maybe sometimes we do need to hear that. But that's when we get to the point we need to stop for a second and really listen to our intuition. Is this person just identifying with an older version of myself? Are they really warning me? Are they only saying this to me because they're fearful and they want to reflect their fear onto me and they want me to be fearful with them? Are they telling me this because they just don't want to see me change and outgrow them? Or because they're scared, or whatever reason that you think they might have, whatever it is? This is where your intuition comes in. You really got to ask yourself, I know I'm usually not doing that, and I know I'm usually doing this, but I feel like every time I keep trying to do the same thing over and over again, I get chaos happening, but my intuition is telling me to do this, even though other people around me are uncomfortable, even though I might be a little uncomfortable, but something keeps telling me that it's time for me to go do that instead. This is what we should be doing all the time, is listening to that gut feeling and that intuition saying, I feel. That's when you know it's right. When your senses starts with, I feel like I should be doing this, or I feel like I should not be doing this. That's basically your intuition telling you it's a feeling in you, and you need to listen to that. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing in your life. It doesn't matter if somebody else made that same move and it was their mistake. It does not mean it's going to be your mistake, because everyone's purpose is different. And that's why we need to stop listening to other people, unless they're divining or something, or it's just a psychologist really helping you. But I mean, even those could be wrong sometimes, you know? we need to listen to our intuition. We need to listen to that gut. We need to listen to our third eye when we feel like we're supposed to be doing, because trust me, there's a lot of energies in the universe that want to see you fail. There's a lot of frenemies. There's a lot of demons that if you have a really high purpose, especially if you're on a similar path as mine, you want to be a healer, you want to be a medium, or whatever it is, or maybe you want to be a cop, or whatever it is you want to be, whatever it is. Maybe you have a really high purpose and there's a lot of energies getting in your way that want to sabotage you. There's a lot of envy. There's a lot of jealous people. They don't want to see you do that. There's literally demons that are from your past that want to get in your way, that are still with you. You haven't released it. We need to be mindful of that. And that's where our third eye comes in. When our third eye is saying this isn't right, I gotta go do something else. I feel like this is gonna be good for me. Screw what y'all gotta say. Screw what these demons are trying to do. I'm gonna do it. Because if you don't do it, the chaos will continue. Trust me. It is part of universal order, and the universe will beat you up until you get the point. Okay? Number 3 is, you gotta ask yourself, well, why is the change trying to happen? If you feel like change is trying to happen, is some things, things are being moved around your life, you got to really sit, which is back to number 2, be intuitive and think, well, if change is trying to happen and deities or ancestors or spirits or my higher self or whatever it is trying to move me in another direction, why do you think that is? Honestly, do you think that what is going on in your life right now that you feel like was only a period of your life and it needs to be over now? What is going on with your life right now that's just simply not serving you and it needs to go somewhere else? Are you in a bad relationship? Are you in a dead-end job that's not aligned with your higher purpose? Are you in a job that's distracting you from your higher purpose? Are you living with toxic people that is getting you sucked up into a lifestyle that you should not be sucked into? You got to ask yourself these things. Why are the Orisha, the Neteru, or the spirit doing this to you? And this is where we have to let go of that whole woe is me thing, because if we do the whole woe is me and everything happens to me thing, we're not paying attention to what's happening. So this is where you got to really ask yourself, if chaos is happening and spirit and all my guides are trying to move me and they're angry and upset, sometimes it feels like they're angry, and basically that's because that's the left hand path of God smacking you in the face. It's like, okay, well, I gave you the right hand and you're not listening, so I'm going to give you the left hand. I'm going to smack you in the face. Basically is what that is. You got to ask yourself why. Why is God slapping me with his left hand or her left hand? Okay? You got to ask yourself, what do I need to stop associating myself with? Who am I hanging out with? Where am I living? Am I living in a place that's not good for me at this time? What have I been doing that I feel if I go this way is going to change? What's going to happen if I go that way? We gotta ask ourselves, why would they want us to change? When I say they, I mean them, as in them in the ethers, the energies that communicate. Why do they want things to change? Why is the energy doing this? What is it? My next one is, you have to stop resisting, because what you resist persists. Okay? If you try to resist the chaos, it's going, like I said earlier, it's going to keep happening, and you're basically just going to mess yourself up. Okay? Which is kind of going to go to my next point I'm about to talk about here in a second. You have to go with the flow. So I have Oshun at my feet, so I know all about going with the flow of the river. And if you try to go against the flow of the river, you're going to hit some rapids and it gets very uncomfortable. And I don't know if you've ever done any white water rafting before, but I've done it before and it's awesome. But it's not exactly the kind of current that you want to be in when you're resisting the flow of nature, if you know what I'm saying, okay? So you really have a choice when it comes to universal law. Everybody has a soul contract that we all signed up to when we were created in this beautiful universe. We said we want to break apart from another being, let's say, and we want to be ourselves. We want to have our own identity. We're not technically separate from source, but we are when it comes to our free will and our choice to do whatever. So we had to basically sign a contract saying, okay, this is who I'm going to be. And this is why I exist as my own self, and why I exist as me and not as that person down the street, or why I don't exist as Sarah, or why I don't exist as Joe, and why I exist as Ro. Okay? It rhymed. I mean, but you know what I'm saying. We gotta understand that we have this agreement, and the universe is helping us with that, because we live in a land of forgetfulness. We live in a dimension of forgetfulness, and we forget why we came here. So when chaos is happening, it's basically the universe reminding you of why you came here. So that's why when we resist why we came here, it gets crazy. We hit the rapids, the water is hitting in our face, we fall out the boat, hurt bones, and all kinds of, well, sharks don't live in the river, but some fish bites you or something, you know what I'm saying? Crap happens to us, okay? So that's what happens when you resist. It's basically the concept of you're either going to go with the flow of the river, or you're going to try to walk backwards or swim backwards in a river. It's your choice. It's free. This is where the concept of free will comes from, and you could either have the free will to go with it and be at ease and be happy with the agreement that you already made, or you could resist it and go through the chaos, which some people would question, is that really free will? But that's another subject. I'm not going to get into that right now. Number 5 is you got to really notice the fear that is sabotaging you. This is called self-sabotage. When we ignore our intuition and we know we're supposed to change our life around. When we know we shouldn't be in that abusive relationship. We know we shouldn't be working this crappy job. We know we shouldn't be living at this house where everyone's doing a bunch of drugs and drinking all the time. We know we shouldn't be doing this. We know we shouldn't be hanging out with these people that all they do is talk about negative crap and gossip all the time. Steal things from stores and whatever it is they do. We know. We could try to lie to ourselves all we want, but we know. So if we know that, then why do we keep doing it? Fear is why we keep doing it. There's something that we're scared of. So we have to identify that. So if you're resisting change and you're scared of change, what are you scared of? Are you scared you're going to fail? Are you scared you're not going to get support from your loved ones? Are you scared that you just might make the wrong move? What are you really scared of? You have to really identify with that fear, and then really ask yourself, is it reasonable? Is it realistic? You know, did I get that fear because my parents used to always fearmonger me all the time? Am I getting this fear because I watch the news too much and everything on the news is making me scared of my own freaking shadow? Like, Anna, you got to ask yourself these questions. Identify the fear, and then identify where you're getting the fear. Where did you get it from? Is it because you're hanging out with a bunch of people who keep spitting crap in your ear all the time? No, you're going to fail, and you're not going to do, you can't do this. Last time I knew somebody did that, they failed, and blah, 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 blah. People keep putting you down. Is that why you're fearful? Because you're hearing people put a bunch of crap in your ear, and you keep actually listening to it? Which, when you know you shouldn't be listening to it, or maybe you don't know. I don't know. My advice to you, if you're hearing a lot of negative stuff from people, you probably shouldn't be listening to it. Which will go to my next thing, because we are talking about self-sabotage and fear. This goes along with the concept of fear. So if you're fearful of, well, maybe I shouldn't leave this relationship because I'm scared that I can't take care of myself, or I'm scared that I might miss out on something great, and maybe it's in my head that maybe I'm labeling this person as a crazy person or not. Maybe it's me that's crazy, whatever. Or maybe I'm scared to move because I might not know anybody, or I'm going to feel alone. Whatever your fear is, you have to, when you identify that and you realize it is a reasonable fear. Sometimes we do have fears that are really reasonable to have. You know, sometimes it's normal to feel like, oh my God, I'm about to buy a house. Am I going to be able to afford this house? It's okay to feel that fear. It's okay. But it's not okay to let it freeze you in your tracks. So the next step to handling your fear, when you identify what the fear is that's keeping you from change, is what can you do to fix the fear? If you're scared that you might not be able to afford a house, for example, then it comes time for you to really keep an eye on the money you're making. You know, it's time to really learn how to handle your money, handle your credit, get your ducks in a row, get your paperwork in a row, you know, all the stuff that you need. So Because in our head, sometimes a lot of it just it feels scattered in our head. And we're like, oh my God, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do, and it feels like it drives you crazy a little bit, you know? So sometimes we just have to write it down, put it down and say, okay, this is what I'm scared that I might fail at. This is what I'm scared to do it because this might be disorganized. Then organize it then. If you figure out you figure out what you're scared of, because you're scared you might fail with whatever money, maybe you want to start a business and you're scared you don't want to make that move because you might fail. Then how do you solve that problem? Talk to somebody who's familiar with business. It's that simple. Do some research. So that fear of not knowing isn't there anymore. Because a lot of times fear is based off not knowing or not knowing what's going to happen. But if you know that you have your ducks in a row and you know you got the money saved up and you know you worked on your credit and you know you're educated on whatever subject it is that you're about to make a move on, then the fear goes away. We can't just stop and freeze and freak out. Oh my God, I'm not going to do it. We got to fix the problem. We have to identify the fear and then take the steps that we need to take so that fear doesn't exist anymore. If we don't do that, we're going to constantly keep failing. We're going to constantly keep sabotaging ourselves. We have to make the sacrifice and make the moves to make whatever we want to happen instead of just freezing and freaking out and hide under the blanket. It's not doing anything for anybody. So my next one is number 7. My number 7 is know what you can control and accept what you can't. For example, what's going on with the world right now. As a person who practices African spirituality, I practice the occult. I'm not in a cult. I practice the occult. Okay, please get it right. And as a healer and as a person who is, doing a lot of live videos and people watch me a lot, I have made the mistake myself to try to put the whole world on my shoulders. And we tend to do that sometimes. We think we're just going to save the whole entire world and we're going to change everything. Yes, there's a saying that, yes, it only takes one man to make change and blah, blah, I get that. But you can't change everything. We are only responsible for our own purpose. We are only responsible for our own healing and our own wants and our own needs. We can't control the minds of everybody's mindset on the planet. Unless you want to be the elite, they tend to be good at doing that. But, we don't have control of everything. You can't tell the moon what phase it should be on. You can't tell the sun when it should rise and when it's to set. You can't tell Saturn when it's going to move or which direction it's going to go. You can't do that. The reason why I'm saying this is because we have no control over the alignment of the planets. Therefore, we have no control over the energy of this planet. We don't have control over it. We only have control of how we respond to it. We only have control of our own life and our own purpose and our choice to follow that purpose. And we only have the choice to share wisdom and share enlightenment. But we can't choke people out with it. We can't shove it down their throat and say, you gotta follow this or if you don't do it my way, then We can't do that because we're no better than the elite. We're no better than the man, because that's what they do. They like to do that. And we need to accept that. We need to accept that there are just some things we can't control. For example, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you are trying your hardest to make it work, but that person isn't, and you're trying to stay peaceful and that person does not want to stay peaceful, you can't force them to. You just can't. And if you finally came up to the conclusion, you no matter what you say, they're just not going to be peaceful with you, you can't keep trying to control that person. If you're hanging out with a bunch of toxic people and you keep trying to be that preacher, right? I found myself and I found the Book of the Dead and I found all the wisdom and I read and I watched this YouTube and I found out all my chakra system and I want to share it with all my friends and I'm hanging out for years and I want to share this wisdom and I go and give them enlightenment, but dang it, but they won't listen to me. Then you have to accept it. You have to accept it. And this is what sucks. I know it's hard. We can't save everybody. You can't save every single one of your family members. You can't save all the people you hang out with. And this is where we have to really accept what can you control, honestly, and what can't you control. I know the world sucks. There's a lot of crap going on. I mean, I can't stand it. I don't like the lies. I don't like the whole pedophilia stuff going on. They're trying to normalize it. Irks me to my soul. It really does. I don't like the sexism. I don't like any of the crap. I don't like how they lie about the history of religion. I hate it. I do. But we have to accept it. We have to, not saying to allow it and say it's okay, but we have to accept the fact some people just are not going to see what you see. Some people just won't. Some people just won't agree with you. Some people just won't follow the same path that you follow. It's not everyone's responsibility to. It's not everyone's purpose to follow the same path. It's not everyone's purpose to believe what you believe. You know, I believe in the Neteru, and I believe in the Orishas, and I believe this is my life, you know, but I can't make everybody believe it. You know, I can't tell everybody this is your purpose and you have to follow it's not, unless unless I do a reading and the reading says, hey, this is this person's path. But if it's not their path, no matter how much we want it to be their path, no matter how much we feel it does good for us and we believe it's good for them, we can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do. It's no different when churchgoers come and knock at your door 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning and you're mad because you was out last night and they wake you up and they're preaching about Jesus. It's irritating, right? It irritates the crap out of you. Not only the fact that they woke you up in the morning, but the fact that you want to believe, but the fact that you don't want to believe it and you don't like people pushing that crap down your throat is what I'm saying. So we have to accept what it is sometimes. We have to accept that only I could do this for myself because this is what's good for me. And I think maybe this might be good for you too, but I have to accept the fact that you're on your own journey and you are on your own path, and the rest of the planet is on their own path. Everybody on the planet is on their own journey, on their own life lesson, on their own soul journey, on their own level, and we need to accept that. You know what I realize is the more we accept our own level that we're on, it's easier to accept other people's level. It doesn't mean to say, okay, it's cool that you like to run around. I stay in Seattle currently, and there's people out here just literally run around just beating people up for no reason. I'm serious. They're freaking crazy out here. Doesn't mean I'm going to say, oh, well, I accept you at your level, so I guess it's okay. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we just have to let go of the control. We have to let go of the control, which goes back to that concept I was saying of to stop resisting, because when we keep trying to resist, that's basically us trying to control everything, and we're trying to control energy that doesn't agree with you. Your higher self, if your higher self doesn't agree with it, your higher self doesn't agree with it. You know, you can't, if the universe doesn't agree with it, you can't fight God's hand. You really can't. I mean, you could try, but good luck. You know, so we need to accept it. We need to accept what we can change, what we can change, what we can and what we can't change. And it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to let go. Just say, it is what it is. Keep it pushing and do your thing. Go on your journey and be happy with it. Be happy with your own journey. Let all the other crap go. The next one is, ask yourself, what will you get out of the change? As in, what reward would you get out of it? Yes, activate the reward signals in your brain, which gives you that high, that gives you that rush and that passion, which I go back to Oshun again. It's passion. That's when you really want to, what really helps you to stop resisting change, because it turns into a passion. It gets you excited. You're like, oh yes, I get to move into another house. Yes, I get to go be single, or yes, I get to enter this new beautiful relationship, or yes, I get to go move out to Hawaii, or yes, I get to go change another job, change and go do this other job. Or yes, I get to start this business. And it turns to excitement instead of fear. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? It turns awesome. You got to ask yourself, what is the reward you will get out of this change? If you're about to start a business, if you're about to get married, if you're about to move, whatever it is, what's the reward that you're going to get out of it? New houses are awesome. New relationships are awesome. New marriages are awesome. Traveling is awesome. New jobs can be a little scary sometimes. I get a little scared when I first start college or when I first start work because it's like new people, but it's exciting because then you could be like, who am I going to meet that's going to be so awesome? I'm going to meet some new friends. I get to meet new people, meet new teachers, meet a new boss, be in a different area in the city or in the town, go to another town. It's exciting. We got to ask ourselves, what are you going to get out of it if we allow the change? Honestly. And that's when we really get back in our intuition. Like, what is God trying to give us? What is Olodumare, or what is the Orisha, or what is the Netaru, or Jesus, whatever you believe in? What is the universe trying to give you? What gift in life are you resisting and scared of that it's trying to be handed to you and give to you? What is it? And when you really think about it and pay attention to the energy that's happening and pay attention to your mind, as in the things that you want, the things that you've been dreaming for, and the things that you have been praying, even if you're not literally at bed going and praying, but sometimes we pray in our head. I'm not saying you're saying, dear God. I'm saying that we have wishes in our head like, I wish I could go to Hawaii this year. I wish I had that car. I wish I had this business. I wish I had this man or this a woman who acts like this or does this. And it's in our head. These are prayers that we have in our head that God hears. The universe hears us. They hear us all the time. We don't have to say it out loud. They feel it's a vibration that we put out, a vibration of hopes and wants and dreams and needs that the universe hears us have, and the universe wants to help you have that. So you're going to ask yourself, what have I been hoping that I have? What have I been wishing that I have that the universe is trying to give me? I'm like, man, I've been praying to win the lottery. Is this what they're trying to give me? Is it a winning lotto ticket? Is this what it is? Seriously though, pay attention. What are you getting out of it? What are your guides trying to give you and guide you to? And it gets exciting. It starts to turn into excitement, and then the fear just gets shined away. So my next one is, where was I at? Number 8? Number 9. Okay, so my next one is number 9 is sometimes you really just need to find support. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to vent sometimes. I'm not saying to gossip, and I'm not saying to talk crap about the old situation or anything like that, but if things are changing and it's frustrating for you and you're like, dang it, and you're angry that all this crap is happening to you and it's scary to you, it's okay. It's okay to feel that way. And you have to tell yourself stop being so hard on yourself. It's normal to feel fearful of change. It's normal to just be unsure. It's normal to be angry. It's normal to be like, oh my God, the universe is totally slapping me around. I'm pissed, man. I can't believe this is happening right now. Why is this happening to me? It is normal to feel angry. It's normal to feel sad to lose something. I mean, I've had a couple businesses and the first one failed and I was sad when I lost it, But then my business teachers always told me, every person who ever starts a business always has 2 businesses. One that fails and one that doesn't. Okay, remember that. So it's okay to feel when you feel like you maybe failed at a relationship, maybe you failed at a marriage, or maybe you failed at a business, or whatever it is, you feel something. We get that feeling in us, we're like, I failed, and we feel bad. And that's another thing that stops us from change, because we feel like we have to fix it all the time. We have to fix it. We have to try to redo it. And sometimes the universe is like, no, stop. It's okay. You had an experience in your life, and you had that experience because you had to learn from it. You needed the experience so you could be the best version of yourself. You needed to experience that person to teach you how to be a better person. You needed to experience that job to get the experience, but you weren't supposed to stay there. You needed to live in that area so you could feel that energy of that area, whatever the reason is. But now it's time for you to change. Now you've learned, and now it's time for you to move on. It's okay to be upset about it. It's okay to be sad about it. It's okay to feel like you need some support. It's okay to ask for help sometimes. If you don't know what to do and you feel like you're at a crossroads and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. I don't know where to go. I don't know if I should be happy, if I should be mad or sad, or all of the above. I don't know. And sometimes it's okay to just say that. It's okay to just say, I don't know sometimes. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be sad that you're losing something that you felt like was going to be there forever. But I'm going to let you know right now, whenever ever in existence has anything not changed? When in your life, your whole entire life, has something just not changed? Honestly. And that's what we forget. We forget that. Sometimes we get comfortable. It's normal to get comfortable in life. We get comfortable in the relationship. We get comfortable in our home. We get comfortable in our job. We get a little too comfy. And that's why the left hand of God smacks you in the face to stop being comfortable. You need to move. Keep it moving. Keep it pushing. Okay? So it's okay. Stop resisting, because that causes a resistance in ourselves when we feel like, well, I'm not supposed to be upset about this. I'm not supposed to feel anything. Of course you're supposed to feel a type of way. We're human. We have feelings. Even the Orishas and the Natural have feelings. Even they get angry and sad and happy and excited or upset or whatever. We are aspects. We're a part of them. We're a part of the universe, and the energies are constantly flowing. It's normal. So when you're going through something like this, it's okay to ask for support. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to admit to yourself that you're sad. It's okay to be angry for a moment, because sometimes it's normal to be angry. Like, I can't believe I was in a crappy relationship. I'm so pissed. I'm angry. I went to this shit. Why did I put myself through this again? I'm not supposed to cuss. I'm sorry. Please don't stop my video, Instagram. But yes, it's okay. It's okay to feel that way for a while. What's not okay about that is if you feel the type of way about it forever and you're resentful forever, never, never, ever, and it keeps causing problems in your life, that's when it becomes a problem, and that's when you need to go back and watch my other videos on healing. Okay. So, but when you're going through the process of change, it's normal to feel angry. It's normal to feel sad, and it's normal to feel that way. It's normal for your feelings to rise up, because to be honest with you, when you're getting slapped around by the left hand of God, I like to call it, with chaos, that's what she wants you to do. That's what Source wants you to do, is to get uncomfortable. Source wants you to have all this stuff come up and out, because you need to see it. You need to realize this is why you're angry. This is why you're sad. This is why this is happening. This is why. And that's why we need to allow ourselves and let ourselves know it's okay to feel a type of way. Because that's what Source is trying to get you to do, honestly. That's the reason why there's chaos in the first place, is to get you to see that. To get you to recognize why you feel this way. And sometimes it takes change for us to realize why we were ignoring those feelings in the first place. Change makes us see that. Change makes us see, dang, I've been feeling this way the whole time, and I've been ignoring it the whole time. I have been angry inside this whole time, and I have been ignoring my anger the whole time. I have been so stagnant because I keep ignoring my anger and my sadness in regards to that situation, because I'm scared to change. So this is why it's okay to let yourself feel it, and let yourself know that it's okay to be angry and sad, because that's honestly what the universe is trying to get you to do. So you will see it, so you will feel it, so you could have a higher understanding of why Source is moving you in another direction. So last step, number 10, is appreciate. You got to learn to appreciate not only the change that's happening, even if it's a little chaotic, but learn to appreciate the experience that you just had, that you're about to shift out of, and experience and appreciate the moment that you're about to have. I know chaos sucks. I know it does. But when we learn to really sit with it and realize it is happening for a higher purpose and a good reason, and there is a good reason why I experience that, and why I need to leave that, and why I need to change to this so I could go through this and experience this. We need to appreciate all those moments. How many times have you been through something and something changed, and you go back and look what your life was like before the change, and you're like, I really appreciate that. I learned this, I learned that. It made me a stronger person. It made me a better person. The change sucked, but it made me the strong person that I am today. And we appreciate it. At the time, sometimes when you're in the middle of the storm, in the middle of the chaos, we kind of forget that. We get caught up in it, because as things are just blowing all over the place and we're freaking out, we just don't want to get hit in the head by some flying cow or something. You know what I'm saying? And we tend to forget that we've already been through this before. We go through change all the time. We have been through breakups. We have been through moving. I don't know about you, but I moved out of state multiple times. I mean, how many times have you moved from one house to the next, or one apartment to the next, or one apartment to a house? Or how many states have you lived in? How many relationships have you been in? How many schools have you been in? How many jobs have you had? You already experienced it. I've already experienced it. Majority of us already experienced multiple of these moments already, unless you're literally just born, you're a baby. But even a baby's going to go through change, okay? They have to go through change of teething and all that kind of stuff. We're constantly going through it. And when we're going through it, we forget that we've already been through it before, and we made it. We made it, and we are okay. We're okay. We made it out okay before, and we'll make it out okay again. And we're going to make it out better. And the reason why we're going to make it out better is because we already went through it before. It's because we know that we have our own back. We know that we are survivors. We know that we've been through change, and we handled it, and we grew from it, and it makes us the awesome people we are today. And we've done it before, and we could do it again. So that teaches us to appreciate it. Even when we're in the middle of the storm, it teaches us to appreciate that it's good for us. We need it, and it's good for us. It's good for our growth. If we want to be the best version of ourselves and to live our best life and live our best self, then we need to allow the change and appreciate it. We really do. And stop giving ourselves such a hard time. You know, be the eye in the storm. Watch it move around, but learn to pay attention. Like, why is it happening? And you know, talk to yourself like, you know, I've been through this before, you know? So if you actually stop and pause for a second when you see all this stuff going on, and really think, instead of letting it kind of beat you up and move you around, and really stop for a second and be the eye in the storm and just watch as things move around in your life. It's a lot easier when you just simply pay attention to it, because then you can really see, like, okay, this spirit's trying to move this here, this is trying to happen, and this is how it's tied to an experience I had in the past, and this is how it's moving to something that I've been praying for. And sometimes we have to really sit, and I share a lot of videos on meditation. My next video I'm going to make is actually going to be on a meditation. So, which my next video, because we're talking about change, is on, and I'm going to make an Oya meditation, which she is the tornado in change. So please check that next video out, because I'm going to share a Oya meditation, but also advise to you that if you're going through a lot of change and it's hard for you to calm your, I like to call it the monkey chatter. It's the chatter in the mind that keeps on talking about fear. Oh my God, I'm scared of this. What's gonna happen? That's called the monkey chatter, which meditation really helps a lot with that. Learning how to sit with yourself and just pause for a second amongst the chaos and really silence your mind, because all answers come in silence. Everything you ask for in the universe, if you're looking for answers, it will come in silence, which means you need to learn to stay still just for a moment in silence, so your higher self can speak to you, or so the Orishas can speak to you, the Netter, or the ancestors, or your guides, whatever, your higher self, your third eye, your soul, whatever, your Ori, whatever you want to talk to, you know. But you can only do it if you calm the chatter down in the mind, so you can have a higher understanding of why things are happening the way it is, and why in yourself you're resisting it, or why you're scared of it. And the only way you're going to get those answers is if you just allow yourself to just kind of chill out for a second, sit in silence for a little bit, and let the answers of spirit come to you. If you don't know how to meditate, I have all kinds of guided meditations. I have Orisha meditations. I have chakra meditations. I have Netter meditations. If you would like to, I think I have a peace meditation. I have all kinds of meditations on my YouTube channel. Please listen to them. If you're not good at silencing your mind, it's always good to start off with a guided meditation, so you could kind of mentally follow the voice in the meditation. And then eventually you could work up to more silent meditations, but starting out with a guided meditation is what I always recommend for people who are just starting out with meditations. So go check out my meditation videos on my YouTube channel at Mind of Ro, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I have more love and wisdom and live videos to share with you. And I also accept donations because, I mean, of course I love money. On Cash App and $Obajaguna. If you're not sure how to spell that, which of course chances are you don't know how to spell it, I will put that on here with the video so you know how to spell it if you want to give me money. So I hope all of you are having a calm day. Ankh Utasineb. Namaste. Odabo. Peace.